Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm happy and glad to welcome you all on the first workshop today. My name is Abbas Sibai, for the people who were not in the first call on the launching of the competition. And today we're going to be doing the kind of fast session around 2 hours through this about sustainable development goals, talking in general about what's the SDGs, and also talking more in depth about Lebanon situation on where we are on the index that have been reportedly. Also, we're going to be talking more about your organization, getting to know you more through we have a small icebreaker where you get to know each other, and we're gonna be having more communication as we go on. So as I said, my name is Abbas Sibai, and I'm the chairperson of the Fast Forward, and today I'm gonna be starting this workshop with you. So at the beginning of this workshop is like, what's Fast Forward and what we were doing. So my background is global public policy, and currently as a chairperson of Fast Forward, I'm helping the organization in Lebanon along with my colleagues, with the different board members, in order to raise awareness, build the capacities, and also participate in policy dialogue related into the SDG. As I said in the launching on Wednesday, is Fast Forward started in 2015 in London, and that have been developed by Dr. Henrietta Moore and with the University College of London, and expanded to Lebanon and Africa, mainly in Nairobi, Kenya, that they work in different countries in Africa. So to start with, and to get more about you, and we want to have this kind of icebreaker, and to get to your know your names, your background, a little bit about your what kind of SDG that you engage with. So I would like to request from you, all of you, is to join this. If you can press on the visual on the link that is present here. Joanna, would it be possible to put the link in the chat box?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Yes, okay.
Yes, in the chat box.
Okay.
Yes. So everyone was able to join. I can see only Joanna on the file.
No, we didn't get the link yet in the chat box.
Yes, 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Now it is in the chat box for everyone. So cool, we're running. So we're having like around 9 participants in total so far out of the 20. So 11 and more, we are populating more. More individuals would be joining the sheet. So I'm gonna be starting as more people will join. So we only have 13 viewers so far on the sheet. So what this sheet is about is this is the kind of the introductory in a place to get to know your name, your email, your organization or NGO, like being a company or a non-profit organization. Also, what is the challenge that you would like you would like to address, or you work on addressing? And also the last thing, which SDG do you relate to? For example, my name is Abbas Sibai, and this is my contact details. If you want my email, if you future want to communicate with me, and I'm as a person as being involved with Fast Forward. As here today, I'm representing the organization, and my work, I would love to work on strong institution, and my lead SDG that I usually focus on is SDG 3, on SDG 3B, which is more related into tobacco control, and SDG 16, which is strong peace building and strong institution. So I invite you everyone to start. We all start filling this this sheet. Now it's 11:12. I'm gonna give it like 3 minutes where people start getting directly on and start filling the sheet. Anyone has any question or any challenge in logging into the sheet? We have 16 total viewers in the sheet out of 23. So there's.
Yes, I am not able to fill it. I have to fill it in the. When I try to put my name, it's not working.
Yes, can you tell me? Yes, because I don't know who's
Can you
speaking.
please reload it? It probably needs reloading. Yes.
Okay, yalla. I'll do that.
So we have Boutros Karam from Hadir, and working on the challenge is mass transportation. And I would like to invite you, like, for example, like if you can limit your SDG into a maximum of 3, between 1 or 2 or 3, ideally is 1. If 2 is good, 3 is a maximum. Okay. And we're gonna be agreeing, like, since if anyone would like to speak, they can raise their hand, and we'll give them the mic to communicate. And because some of you do not have your names listed on the screen, so I invite you when you start, if you want to ask your question, is to state your name, saying that, for example, Abbas Sibai from Fast Forward, and my question is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So by this, everyone would be able also to engage with you and to get to know what is you are asking about and the information.
Just a question, Jinan. Caroline, were you able to edit and set your
Yes,
name?
yes,
Oh,
I'm on page 2. Yeah, thank you.
great. Okay.
Okay, so it's growing and more people are still writing. We're gonna give it till 11:17, and then we're going back to our plenary. So we have Boutros Karam. Would you like to open your mic and tell us a little bit about you while the others are filling?
Yes, sure. Can you hear me well?
Yes. If
Okay,
you
so
if
my
you like
name
to open your cam, it's up to you, but it would be nice so we can see the face behind the name.
Sure, but at the moment I have issues. That's why I'm on 2 devices. I have connection issues.
No worries.
I should be able to solve it in the coming 10 minutes, and after that I'll be able to open.
Okay.
I'm Boutros Karam. I'm from Hadir. We are currently working on solving the mass transportation problem in Lebanon. I graduated from NDU with mechanical engineering, worked for a couple of years with EY, after which I pursued my master's in business analytics, and currently I'm full-time on Hadir, trying to make the change that the country deserves.
Thank you.
Should we go into Hadir a bit more, or what was that enough?
We'll have Elion, like, will introduce himself.
Okay.
Boutros, is Hadir the bus that's going from Beirut to Batroun?
Yes, exactly. That's us.
Okay, fabulous.
Yes, it's fabulous. And I saw also, like, there's an app too.
Yes, exactly. We also have an app we're using at the moment.
Yes.
We're trying to develop it even further. It's nice to see that people have already heard about us. It's really a very nice thing.
Yes. Elio Haddad.
Yes, hello. Hi, guys. So I'm also a co-founder of Hadir. My name is Elio Haddad. I have a background in psychology. At first, I started out with mechanical engineering, but then made this drastic switch, basically. And also, I'm a full-timer on Hadir. And as Boutros said, we are trying to solve the mass transportation problem in Lebanon. We actually think that there is something to be done about this, and we are starting to see results. So, yep, we're carrying forward, and we believe that SDG 13 is the immediate thing that we are tackling. You know, the other SDGs will follow, of course. Sustainable communities and cities they're secondary, but the immediate one would be climate action, basically.
Perfect. So thank you, Elio. We have Ralph, Burji, and Sabih from Plastic Lab.
Yes, hello. How are you?
Yes, good. I saw that you already felt like your challenges are transforming plastic waste into valuable products, and there's 3 SDG, 8, 11, and 12, right?
Yes, true.
Yes. Would you like to add anything about yourself?
I'm actually a co-founder at Plastic Lab. I'm currently handling all the operation within the factory.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a background in mechanical engineering and web development.
Thank you, Ralph. The other Ralph?
Hi, I'm another part of the team. I am
Yes.
handling the networking and the governance in our organization. I have a background in civil engineer, and I'm doing my master's in environmental and infrastructure planning at the moment. And for the SDGs, well, we're a bit lost because we're tackling at the same time many SDGs as we can. But mainly we're going to work in the industry, innovation, and infrastructure at the same time. Sustainable cities.
Yes. Thank you actually for voicing it out that we're having trouble in indicating which SDG. And today we're going to be dwelling more about the SDGs, and which is ultimately organization overall. They are invited to work on all the 17 SDG because the SDGs are interlinked in general from SDG 1 till SDG 17. But of course, there would be some more focus on a certain SDG, an indicator that you would like to be proud and championing within your organization in order to be able to contribute the general overall. We have also like Lara, and who's talking more about riders' right. So would you like to introduce yourself? Lara? Okay, Lara seems not hearing us. I will ask Yara from iServe.
Hello.
Hello, Yara.
Good morning. So my name is Ziara Ayoub. I'm representing iServe. iServe is a Lebanese organization based on youth empowerment, and it's basically working on a volunteer based. We have several programs. We are trying to develop one of the programs to become more, to have more a sustainable model, which is iClubs to empower grassroots communities of youth in different regions in Lebanon. As Abbas was saying, we do work on different SDGs, but the focus this year is on SDG 8. But we do work a lot on a lot on partnerships, a lot on also SDG 3, I think on health and well-being. So yeah, this is mainly
yes, I saw some on your website. Thank you, Yara. Oscar Wood, you are from Scenario, and you're working also on quality education and the focus of SDG 4. So because like we want to go further as much as possible, so can you briefly tell us like your aspiration?
Yeah, well, I'm Oscar. I was a teacher in the UK for 10 years, and I came to Lebanon in 2016, founded Scenario, and our Play Kit app allows early years teachers to deliver their curriculum through Play. I guess my aspiration is that all early years teachers in Lebanon can access this material and help it enrich their curriculum.
Thank you, Oscar. That's aspiring. So we're moving forward with Nathalie Nasser from Foodsite. Nathalie did not join us last time, so now you can introduce yourself.
Hi, hello everyone. Nathalie Nasser. I'm a marketing specialist and franchise consultant, and I'm the co-founder of Foodsite. At Foodsite, we are trying to help food manufacturers get access to technology and help them to produce in the higher standard under the food safety and quality. The SDGs that we are working under actually are more than those that I just listed, but mainly it's 2, 3, and 9.
Perfect. Thank you, Nathalie. We're going to, it's different for me to pronounce the name, which is Guglielmo Maza.
Guglielmo.
Guglielmo.
It's like Guillaume or William. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Please go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Guglielmo. I'm one of the creators of Refuse, and our aim is to empower communities through sorting at source. And I have a background in environmental engineering. I'm from Italy, and I'm now in Lebanon. And our focus is on sustainable cities, and therefore SDG 11 is the most appropriate.
Thank you. Ali?
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Ali and I'm with Guglielmo with Refuse, along with other 2 parties that are not here today. So basically I have a background in engineering and experience in the humanitarian sector majorly. We aspire to basically change the perception of waste from something that we throw on the ground to a resource basically that we can use.
Yes, thank you, Ali. Caroline Fattal.
Yes, I'm the founder of Stand for Women, an NGO working for women's economic empowerment. It's SDG 5 and also SDG 8 for the economic growth. We have been on the ground since 2017, and after the Beirut explosion, helping women-owned small businesses affected by the blast to come back on their feet and continue business. So I see also a lot of things that can cross with other initiatives. For example, I know that for the bus rides, many women feel sexual harassment on the buses. And so I'm sure Hadir would be an option where they can feel safe. So anyhow, it's mainly women's economic empowerment through working and being financially independent. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. And you highlighted a very important part is the joint efforts that we can build through getting to know each other, and how we can build in the partnership that we're going to be discovering also today is not everyone to do everything, but building the partnership might also help in one organization contributing to the SDG. So Anthony Najam, also like from period poverty and paths for all. So do you want to introduce yourself, Anthony?
Hello everyone, I'm Anthony and I am a chemical engineer in Paths for All. My job is to redesign menstrual products and into a sustainable and eco-effective approach to combat period poverty. The SDGs that we're working on are SDGs 3 and 12 and others, but the ones I'm working on are 3 and 12.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Ali Abani from iServe is also working on SDG 8. I think Ali with Yara, right?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Abbas. How are you?
Yes, good.
I'm with Yara, with iServe. We're working on SDG 8. I have a background in industrial engineering and project management, and I'm working as a trainer, technical team lead, and a volunteer with iServe as a program coordinator.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Ali. Janal Amin from Cody.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm Jana, the analyst at Codeep. So the challenge that we try to overcome is youth unemployment by impacting directly SDG 4, 8, and 17, and others, of course. So for SDG 4, it's quality education. We operate in the non-formal education system. So we technically train students to become full stack web developers. And SDG 8, because after they participate in the training, they are able to find decent jobs.
Yes.
And they participate in the economic growth of Lebanon.
Yes.
And we work with partners because we believe that it's a complete ecosystem. So we believe that working with partners and to achieve goals is very important. And this is what we do.
Perfect. Thank you so much for introducing yourself and about your work. We're going to be having Jihan from Nusanid, and also they were not present with us, so it's a good opportunity to join us.
Yes, hello everyone. I do really apologize for not being able last time to join you at 7, even though I did confirm my attendance. So I'm a program development manager at Nusanid, and we are working usually on 3 main programs. So it's like food assistance, food security and livelihood, and shelters for disadvantaged families. So, but we have a huge list of beneficiaries, like we are targeting youth unemployment and especially unskilled youth unemployment, you know, the increase of dropout from school and not to be enrolled in universities, etc., because of the current economic situation in Lebanon. So we are working on a program like to provide vocational training for them, and it's like a social business to allow them to work, get their fees decently, and at the same time to like have a certain percentage to rehabilitate and provide shelter for people with the youth. It's like a community work. Nice. So it's like SDG, I think I forgot 11 and 8.
You put 8 and 11, yes.
So
there's a lot of cross-cutting.
Yes, and decent work and economic. Yes.
Yes, there's a lot of cross-cutting with iServe on youth unemployment. So you also try to empower young people and job opportunities.
Yes, definitely. Good. But I didn't want to add too many SDGs. It's an innovative idea. It only started in USA and Canada. So yes, so that's it.
Perfect. Thank you. Miriam Boufaisal, Mr. Pet. Also, she introduced us last time about it's a cool project. Do you want to tell us more about Miriam?
Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm Miriam Boufaisal, co-founder of Mr. Pet. I'm an agri-food engineer, and we are actually working on pet food company industry because we have a serious problem in Lebanon that 30% of the Lebanese chicken industry are getting thrown illegally in water rivers and as leftovers, causing water and soil pollution if left untreated. Knowing that the yearly amount of chicken produced is 80 million. And in parallel, with the absence of the locally produced quality pet food, the Lebanese pet food imports are hitting more than $16 million with a growth rate of 10% yearly. Wow. So we are mainly working on SDG 14 and 6 because Mr. Pet will treat this chicken leftover and transform it into a chicken meal and a dry protein meal, then transform it to pet food locally produced according to the European norms. And that's why we can work on SDG 8 as an economic growth for a market that isn't much spread in Lebanon.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Rami Sabir.
Yes, hi. I'm Rami. It's Sbeh, by the way. I'm yes. So I'm the third co-founder of Plastic Lab. As mentioned before, we transform plastic waste into construction materials, And as you requested, we can say that we are focusing mainly on the SDG number 11. It's sustainable communities and cities.
Perfect. Thank you, Rami.
Alongside the 8 and the 12 also.
Yes, of course. But you did a good job that you identified that 11 is your core, and the others are sub goals for you that you would like to work. And again, I remind everyone that in principle, all the SDG are interlinked. So you cannot be working on everyone. They will each indicators, and we will see that how they are interlinked and they are grouped in a way. So there would be packages of SDGs together. They become hand in hand. But the focus would be on which indicator you are reporting on would be your core. So thank you, Rami. We're moving into Khulud, and we still have Shadi, which is good. So Khulud from Finance.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Khulud, and Find a Nurse is an online platform that provides families who need home care services with home care providers who are trusted and vetted. Our major SDG is women empowerment, which is number 5. And obviously, because we work with mainly newborns, we also empower moms to go back to work, and we work with elderly, so we empower people to take care of their health and make sure that everyone is safe and sound at home. So we also fit into the SDG number 3 as well.
Thank you, Khulud. And last but not least, which is Shadi from Riders Right. So we have 2 people from Riders Right.
مرحبا.
تفضل شادي.
في احكي عربي او انجلش؟
Yes, you can speak. By the way, feel free to communicate in whatever language that you prefer. Not French, I don't understand French. So either English or Arabic, but the presentation is mainly in English. Okay?
Okay, great.
تفضل شادي.
اسمي شادي فرج من جمعية حوار الركاب. في أنا وفادي الصايغ وفي لارا الصايغ كمان. 3 نحن، بس عم بعرف عنهم 3. نحن بنشتغل على موضوع عدالة التنقل بشكل عام، اللي هي نعطي فرصة لكل الأشخاص بشكل متساوي ليتنقلوا. وعدالة التنقل مفهوم عم جرب حط هذا الفيجن وهي المفهوم بلبنان والوطن العربي، خلينا نقول. كيف هي مرتبطة بحرية التعبير، هي مرتبطة بكل حقوق إذا بدكم الحماية الاجتماعية لازم تكون لأي شخص أو مواطن. نحن بلشنا از باص ماب بروجكت، مشروع خريطة الباصات، من خلاله قدرنا يعني جمعنا المعلومات للباصات وعملنا بلاتفورم اوبن بلاتفورم للنقل المشترك بال 2018. وهلا بعدنا عم نشتغل على موضوع هذا الموضوع، كيف نفوت التكنولوجي على نظام النقل الشعبي ونعمله امباورمنت لا تتحسن خدماته بشكل دامج. ومن هون نحكي بالاس دي جي 11 10 كمان للجاستس هون والجندر موبيليتي، وكمان 17 كيف فينا نخلق بارتنرشيبس و بارتيسيبيشن، خلينا نقول تشاركيه، لا نقدر نعمل حقوق بقطاع النقل المشترك، خلينا نقول كرمال تحسين الخدمات للناس. وشكرا.
شكرا شادي. شادي بتعرف كمان هدير؟ تعرفون
أكيد
ولا؟ اوكي جود. سو كمان في كثير تشابه بالببليك ترانسبورتيشن، في عنا مواضيع. سو ان جنرال المواضيع يلي عنا اياها بشكل عام بين الجروب يلي هن اكثر about transportation, women empowerment, youth empowerment, job creation, education, sustainable city. That's in general. حتى even like on the part of Mr. Pat on agriculture and like more environment, but more focused on the SDG 6 and 14. But also Mariam mentioned about the economic growth of SDG 8. So there's a lot of commonalities between the groups. And we're gonna be moving. So I would like to thank you so much about introducing yourself and identifying. And Heke, I know it's a little bit difficult sometimes to narrow down to which SDG that you want to work on. You feel like you want to populate more and more and to put all 17, but it would be good to have more focus within the process. So great. So now we got to know each other briefly within the first 30 minutes and talking more about our initiatives. And also we already saw that there is a lot of commonalities between the participants here on the call, and a lot of potential could be of collaboration that can take place within the coming period of time, that we are more than happy to support in communicating and bridging you together, and to put you with other stakeholders that might be interested in your project too. So in order to move forward in the workshop, I would like everyone, there would be like kind of a small quiz. This quiz is, we're gonna be doing it now, and it is a form that I'm gonna put the link in the chat box now, so you can have, all of you have access to it. This kind of quiz is just a general information about what we might be discovering today through the presentation, and there would be much more that are not part of the quiz, but it would be later on part of the assignment that you would be doing. So please let me know if you got the link. And we're gonna also take another, now it is 11:38. We're gonna be taking it till 11:45 to finish this quiz. It's a multiple choice questions in general, which will be a benchmark for us to see by the end of the session if we're gonna be repeating the same quiz again, and we will see if the answers were changed or not. Okay. Anyone has any question? So first, the first thing that we need here is your full name and your email. You enter them, and the first question.
The link? Are we getting the link?
Yes, it is already in the chat box.
I'll check it out. Okay, sorry.
I'm gonna send it again in case someone was logged out. Okay.
Sorry, but I didn't receive it.
In the chat box, you did not get it?
Yes.
Anyone is facing the same problem?
I didn't receive it as well.
Sorry?
I didn't receive it as well.
Okay, hold on. Now, can you check, please?
Yes.
I was like, Joanna, would it be possible to check if there is anyone in the waiting room? Okay, so now I think that everyone have received the link to this small quiz. So the first question is, and it's an easy one, just to get started, at how many sustainable development goals there is agreed on by the world nations? Is it 17, 8, 10, 16, or maybe fewer? The second question is, each SDG supported by set of targets, specific objectives that are associated with the goal. How many targets are there in total? Is it 99, 1016, 51, 169? Just select a number. Goal number 1 is about poverty. What is the main goal or the aim of this goal? Is it to cut poverty in half, reduce poverty by 75%, end poverty, or help each nation to make more progress on reducing poverty? The third question, or the fourth, I think, the goal number 17 is about strengthening the meaning of implementation and the goal of partnership for realizing the other goals. Which of the following is not part of goal number 17? Is it mobilizing finances, creating international support, or international sports tournament, helping developing countries, or enhancing trade? Which one is not part of SDG 17? Are we doing fine? Anyone have any challenges? Okay. In 2013, the Agenda Sustainable Development Goal number 13 on climate change has asterisk, okay, after it. Why? Is it because addressing climate change is more important than all other goals? Because the negotiators were unable to come to an agreement on climate change? Or because the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, which is meeting in Paris in late 2015, is a forum where detailed condition on climate change will be made, or because the goal on climate change is constantly shifting. Okay. So again, we're doing now this quiz for people who rejoined us now. If you have access to the link, if you don't have access to the link, please do let us know, because we would like to have all your answers by the end of the session. Which of the following is not part of Sustainable Development Goals? Is it access to sustainable energy for all, availability of water, provision of internet service for all, or promotion of decent job for all? So which is not part of sustainable goals, okay? The question that follows is, equality issues are specifically mentioned in how many of the sustainable development goals, not including the targets? Is it in 2 of them, 6 and 12? Is it in goal number 2, 7, 8, and 14? Or in 3 of them, which is 4, 5, 10? Or goal number 16. So the question is here is, equality issues specifically mentioned in how many of the sustainable development goals, not including in the targets? Okay. Which of the following is not part of goal 15, which the ecosystem is hold the reserve, hold biodiversity, hold the use of biotechnology, use ecosystem? Question that follows, which of the following is not true about SDG? SDG, they encourage the promotion of health, well-being, education for all at all ages. They explicitly promote innovation. They include the development of sustainable cities. They are legally binding, internationally treaty that all nations are required to follow, which is not true of these. We have something in the chat. Hi, sorry, but I have poor connection. Okay, Maroon, shukran. Maroon, I think he joined and you did not introduce yourself. Okay, I will send you again in the group chat to fill the first session. This link is for Maroon to fill again. So I'm gonna go back into the questions. The last question, as we agreed by 11:45, we're stopping this exercise. The last question is, what can individuals do to help realize the achievement of sustainable development goals? So that individuals, okay, not the organization, hold their government and the private sector accountable, create project and partnership, use position in society, all the above and more. Okay. Okay. And we are stopping in this exercise. So anyone would like to reflect about anything regarding of these questions that we asked in general? Anyone has like kind of found difficulty in one of the questions or something, or everything was fine?
It's Caroline. I mean, it's not easy because, you know, it's been some time I have not read the material. So yeah, in some areas, I'm not sure, but it's okay. It's a good refresher. I'm sure we will get more from you.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Caroline. So if there's no more questions or any remark on any of the questions, I will be moving back to the presentation. Anyone has a question? No. Okay. Maroon, were you able to check the first one where you digit in your name and fill the questionnaire or not? Maroon Al-Khouri, I think. Maroon now on the call. I think no, we lost. No. Okay, so why does the SDG matter for business, and why we are like really thinking about all your project and in a way, and we're trying to push this agenda of 2030. So, and when I use the term of a business, does not mean for profit. Any business could be, in general, could be for profit making or for non-profit. So, irrespective of your legal nature of your organization, is it a company or a non-profit organization? It is, at the end of the day, is it a business? Because you are providing a service or producing a product. So why do the SDG matter for the businesses? So in what we believe, and in general, that things that quoting Ban Ki-moon, basically what he said, business is a vital partner in achieving the sustainable development goals. Companies, irrespective, again, in the nature of it, can contribute through their core activities. And we ask companies everywhere to assess their impact and set ambition goals and communicate transparently about the results. So this is kind of an inspiration, like back then from the Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, who said this in particular. And this identify these following points, which is to identify the future business opportunities. This is if you are able to identify which SDG that you want to work on, you would be able to identify future business opportunities, naming like partnership, collaboration, understanding your stakeholders, everything. These are, it would be an eye-opener for you to have future businesses. Even the nonprofit sector, is you would be able to communicate to the donor and to whomever is it about how you would like to grow your organization and which programs you want to focus on in the future. Enhancing the value of the corporate sustainability. Also, it is not just about that we are reserving in general, but also the value of the organization by itself. It's meaningful and not just a company like any other company. محل شاورما مثلا. We don't know what exactly is the value is just providing food. But if there was a more focus on this shop that is like even the shawarma place is hiring, equally hiring on gender, taking on the hygiene, using sustainable energy, all this stuff, it makes a more meaningful value for this small business that is just a sandwich place. Strengthening the stakeholder relations and keeping pace with the policy development. So here you will be able even to ask the government, and it's a platform where you can ask for task reduction. You would be able to communicate with government in a sense of like challenges that you're facing. And you would be able to negotiate when there is a certain policy level it's doing, and you can showcase how your business is contributing in advancing the development in the country that you are present in. Stabilizing the societies and the markets. So when everyone is talking the same language and talking about the same goals. So for example, if everyone shifting from fossil fuel to solar energy, for example, it is creating a new markets. There was no one using solar panels, no one using all these technologies that come along with this type of technology. So a new market has creating, and you created the new societies that finding new job opportunities, new markets, new doors for that. And the last and the most important part is the indicators and the SDG, which is the most creative campaign ever that's created by the United Nations, is using 17 goals, using simple language, target to the point, that everyone feel they can relate to and share a purpose. As you have seen, it is, but the challenges is like everyone feel like they want to, they relate to a lot of SDG, which is good. At the same time, is a challenge because you get confused if you do not dig further in each sustainable development goal. Anyone have any questions so far? شادي إذا في شيء ما فهمته أو بدك يعني احكي بالعربي كمان قلي. اوكي
already submitted ماشي الحال بس انا حبيت انه نحكي شوي بالعربي كمان.
اوكي شكرا شادي. So what the purpose of this, like what we're gonna be going through today? So we're gonna be through this session is to have a general understanding of sustainable development goals. Some of you have a deep understanding of sustainable development goals because you are reporting, and I know some of you are part of Global Compact, so you know, like for example with Caroline and Stand for Women, I know that they are heavily involved in SDG and they report on that. While some other new organization is different, is they are working, is new, they are more on the basic knowledge of the SDGs, and they do not dwell into the indicators. So today we're going to be having more understanding on the SDGs, and also we're going to be defining the priorities, setting goals, integrating them, and reporting. Of course, this 2 session would not be like a magic for your organization in order to do that. There's a lot of effort that you need to do on your own behalf. And this would be more highlighted in the assignment that you want to work on in order to move forward within our process. Anyone have any question, anything so far? Okay, so when we talk about agenda, we always talk, or you hear about something called Agenda 2030. And what is this Agenda 2030 and these goals? So basically, the United Nations, what they did back early in the years, in around 2000, they created something called the Millennium Summit Declaration and the UN Millennium Development Goals. These goals, they were like around from 2000 to 2015. And they put a list of development goals that related into environmental protection, into poverty, reducing of poverty, and many other goals. And then they almost reached 2015, and they found themselves they did not reach the goal, and they did not see all the impact that they were aspiring to reach. That's why these countries, they and the UN have organized a conference in Rio, and they call it Rio 20. And during this meeting in 2015, they agreed on what they want to achieve by 2030. And this is how the idea of the goal of the 17 goals have been developed. And over the time, through several conferences, they have kept on developing since 2015 with the goal of what they want to achieve by 2030. So what are the main pillars or the value or the core of this agenda? The agenda have different dimensions. They looked into how they want to make a difference and make people more prosperous, how they preserve the planet and to ensure that we have a decent environment, healthy for our future generation, prosperity, about how we can move nations from poverty level into advanced level, and reduce poverty and create job creation and go into innovation and to focus on more sciences and to reduce all the, like this is where we can talk more about the SDG 3 and many other SDG 1 and 2, and this is kind of also integrating into prosperity. The last and the fourth one, which talking more about peace and justice, and where we see a lot of wars that were taking place in that period of time, and ongoing wars and conflicts that taking place, and at the same time there is a lot of this conflict that is taking place either because poverty, lack of prosperity, fighting around natural resources, could be about land, could be just because they seek power and to grow. And this led into something called into that we need to have stronger institutions in order to reduce the violence that takes place, being it verbal, being physical violence that happen, and also that the intangible, like kind of indirect violence that takes place with this corruption. Also, it is indicated into the SDG number 16 that we will focus later on. So all these three aspects, which are the people, planet, prosperity, and peace and justice, they all come together with something called the partnership for progress. So if we did not have all this kind of collaboration between bringing all these kind of petals of flower, like as you can see in the diagram, and we see that's the interlink. So here it comes into the 5 aspects of it. And they bring together all together, and we'll see here how at some point there's a lot of intersection that takes place between people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership in order to create. And this is the spirit of the SDG that we see. As I was talking earlier, as when we talk about people, I talked about the end of poverty, hunger, and the human rights can be fulfilled in potential dignity and quality and in healthy environment. The planet is to protect the planet for degradation and protect it for the future generation. Prosperity, ensuring that they can enjoy prosperous, fulfilling lives. And the peace is to foster peace building around the world. And the partnership is to mobilize the individuals, countries and nations into this agenda in order to make it a reality and ensure that there is every country that is contributing matters, because if one country is not respecting this agenda, it will impact not just the country by itself, but will impact the whole globe, as we can see on issues related to climate change. If one country is kept on introducing or high level of emission, then the heat level would be increasing, then and you know the whole cycle of climate change. So as a baseline and responsibilities of it, and you might ask yourself, oh, but I'm a small NGO, but I'm a small company, we are a startup, we just started our idea, and we are not like a company, we do not have enough budget to focus on all these aspects, and this is very idealistic in a way, and to introduce it within my company or in my business, irrespective if it's NGO or a company. So the good part and the good news that SDG in general are a shared responsibility from every single business, individual, nations. It can be implemented regardless of the size, the sector, or where you operate. If you operate in Lebanon, in Somalia, in New Zealand, in Germany, or whoever, you have opportunity to contribute to the SDG. Even if you are working in an urban setting or in a rural setting, in a village or a city, so it does not relate to that. So you can always have the indicators and the goals irrespective of where the operation is taking place. And also the sector, you cannot say that saving SDG number 13 on climate change and emission does not relate into a business that's working into food safety. Definitely, because the emission that would be produced, for example, if they're creating the refrigerators, how they are producing the energy, its consumption, that it is all of them, as I said, is interlinked. And the most interesting part is they all respect universal rights. So this implicates if your business and the SDG are able to be implemented no matter of your size, no matter of the sector you are involved in, and no matter where you operate, and by default they respect universal rights, meaning that you cannot be doing a certain business, okay, without respecting 3 minimum standards, which are the ILO, International Labor Organization, which is declaration of the on the social policy about protection of labor in your businesses. Second one, which is the Global Compact Principles, which are 10 principles, which is respect of human rights, being dignity, transparency, not to be part of collusion or the corruption, etc. And the last one, which is the basic for that, is the UN Guiding Principle on Business and Human Rights. Later, when we share with you the presentation or by email, we're going to be sending you also the links for these 3 major documents, which it might help you also to look at and to see, and we invite you to adopt these minimum 3 frameworks and guidelines. I'm not saying that it would be happening overnight, but it is in a progress, and to put it in your into your work plan to go through these documents and to see how you can report on that, and to see if it is how you will be able to integrate it within your business network. Anyone has questions so far?
No, all fine.
That's fine. Great. So I've been talking about Agenda 2030, about SDG. You've been listing on several SDG, and when we start introducing, and we saw like a lot of you, that someone saying I work on education, which is SDG 3. We saw a lot of people working on decent, you want to create job opportunities for women and youth, and you're focusing on SDG 8, the decent work and economic growth. We saw a lot of on 11, which is sustainable cities through the public transportation. And we saw also like into climate action, and also we with Mr. Pett, for example, life below water, because they said they throw the chicken in the water, so it is contributing to that. And also mainly 6, ensuring that the water is clean and safe for drinking. So these are kind of the different SDGs. As I said, they are interlinked into each other, and it's not like they are not standalone, but there would be a major focus one over the other. So how these SDG that I said in early 20s in the 2000s, sorry, till until 2030, how these SDG have emerged from the Millennium Development Goals into the global agenda, which is Agenda 2030. So the goals are being divided into sections. For example, we have from goal number 1 till 7, which we're more talking into during the Millennium Development Goals, more about poverty, food security and nutrition, health, quality of education, gender, water and sanitation, and access to clean energy. So these kind of goals, the 7 points, were like the 7 goals that we see in the agenda. They were kind of more consolidated in the Millennium Development Goals, while in the Agenda 2030, we see them are spread into 7 separate goals with more indicators to ensure that we can contribute more effectively and report more thoroughly. Moving forward from the Millennium Development Goals, they had from goal number 8 to 11, which was more focused into the inclusive growth and decent work, the infrastructure and industrialization, inequalities, cities, and human settlement. And goal number 12 to goal number 15, more focus about environmental protection. So if your focus in your organization is more about environmental protection, so you might be considered to focus on SDG 12 and 215, 12, 13, 14, 15. One, if more about governance, strong institution, peace building, less violence, gender-based violence, that would be included within your work is more about SDG number 16, having safe spaces for boys and girls, reducing harm against women. So all are under goal number 16. So we can also see, like in goal number 17, we can see here that the goal that some of you have said, it's more related into finance, because the goal number 17 is labeled as a global partnership and strengthening global partnership. But actually, what does global partnership? Sometimes we tend to see if one NGO or one company or wherever they are connecting with each other, we claim that we are doing global partnership. But in reality, the global partnership and the indicators means who is financing these goals, how they are creating funds in order to organizations and businesses to report on these goals, what is the technology needed in order to reach these goals, capacity building, do we have enough information, and do the businesses and the general public know about sustainable development goals in order to say that we want to support this? Do they have the awareness? The trade, the level of trade that is happening between one country to another country, and we see like a little bit of like I allow to myself and say like hypocrisy, where we see like international organizations, they are like working into climate change, but at the same time they are subsidizing money for big fisheries. And when we do big fisheries, that okay, you are that you are helping climate change, but you are killing the marine life. So this could be kind of also contradiction, and we'll see here where there should be like more coherent understanding about, and not conflict between doing one action and another place doing another challenge. So, and also the trade into places where we see that we say that our country is going into clean energy, but at the same time we are #1 producing fossil fuel or like cars that work on diesel and fuel, and exporting them but not using them in our country. So this is also kind of a contradiction between the countries and on the trade level, that we need to have this global partnership in order to achieve. More we see all these things related into dialogue that I was talking about that take place on an international arena, where you as businesses, no matter what's your size, there is a space for you to be part of this policy coherence, and a place where you voice your issues related into women protection, environment, and whatsoever, on a local and municipality level, on ministry level, on a national level, and also on an international level, where you can having this coherence within the policy, and also having this multi-stakeholder partnership and data monitoring and accountability, which is the most important part in SDG, is about how you as a business contribute to and communicate that you are contributing to the SDG based on a certain indicators. Moving forward is like the key 6th part of this agenda that I was talking more about is the 17 SDG that you are all more familiar with. And the most important, more than the 17, is the in-depth of that. In the quiz that we mentioned, there's 169 targets. There was a question, is it 1,000? Is it 51? How many goals or targets? There are 17 goals, but 169 targets. I would like to ask you, feel free to to raise your hand or open the mic, introduce yourself, and see if you know, have you heard about these 169 targets? Anyone? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Anyone have I don't know who was speaking now. Do you know the targets? Have you ever checked what are the targets and what?
Is it Abbas that under every goal there is 3 or 4 or 5 things to be achieved, and I suppose that all of them compounded it makes 169. I've never looked at them yet.
That's correct. So you can see them. There is a website that's called unstat.un.org. We will share the link with you later on. But here, as Caroline was saying, that there is these 17 goals. Here you can see them. And under each goal, like Caroline is working on SDG 5, for example. And here we see the targets. Under the target, we see, Caroline, like in goal number 5, which one of these targets do you work on?
Actually, most of them, but if I remember where there is one around.
Can you see on the screen?
Yeah, I can see, but it's a little bit small for my eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's number 5.5. Ensure women's full and effective participation. Where did it go? And equal opportunities of leadership at all levels. This is the one that was important for us, but of course, all of them are important. Yeah.
Perfect. So, this is kind of an example where Caroline was able to say that she wants to work on goal number 5, and then she went more into zoom into the goal and selected the target, which is 5.5 out of all the targets. And then, in order to make sure to see that if she is and her organization are able to achieve this target, yes or no, they will be having indicator, which is 5.5, which is proportion of seats of held by women, national parliament, local government, and proportion of women in managerial position. So so basically, your organization saying, okay, I'm working on goal number 5, and how you are. So I understand from Stanford Women, if this is the goal and this is the target, so they are more kind of talking about women in politics. And
not exactly actually in politics, because there are other NGOs who really are focused on women in politics. But for me, it's women in the economic world. So 552, but it's also in other places, of course.
Yes. But I'm showing kind of an example about how to do. And more thoroughly, in order to ensure that, like, for example, a 5.5.2 is promotion of women in managerial position, and because like the economic empowerment is proportion of women in managerial position, and there is this standard which is called the ICGen MGTL. It is kind of a tool that organizations are invited to check it out. And in order to see, this is the standard how to say that they are in managerial position or not. Also, like the proportion of women in senior and middle management position, the tool that is being used, it is the ICGen MGTN. That's the kind of the organization that would be able to report on. So here we can see how you can really find tools, sometimes finance, in order to say that how you are contributing. So all the startups or the businesses or the NGOs, if you are able to identify which target that you want to go on, and then first the goal, and then the target, and then the indicator, and then use the right tool in order to report, okay, then it would be easily to vocalize your work, and then you would be invited into all these platforms, the global platforms, to really talk something tangible, scientifically proven with evidence base, that you will be able to negotiate and to do that on a global. So it will generate indirectly a space for you to promote your business and to tell about your achievement. It might be generating also opportunity for driving some investors to invest in your business because they believe that you are achieving this goal, and they would be able to say that they feel safe and they are, all of you are talking the same language, as I said. So one indicator same, so no matter where are you in the world, the same language is being said that we are, in order to measure managerial position, we use this indicator. So this is the beauty of the organization. And the most important part is that it is in percentage, and it never been in number. So this is no matter what's your size. So for some companies would be saying 3%, and if a small company would be like one woman, but a company of having 300 employees, it is more than 3. So it would be, the numbers would be different, or 3,000 or 10,000. So the number would be everything in percentage. So no matter where you work, no matter the size of your business, and no matter the sector that you work on, you can include this type of indicator in your business, and so on in all the goals. Anyone would like to dwell further in a certain goal? Feel free to open the mic. Anyone? Maybe we check goal number 8. There's a lot of people, of you working on goal number 8. So goal number 8, which is promote sustainable, inclusive, sustainable economic growth. So everyone is talking about job creation and etc. So here would be like sustain the per capita economic growth, or achieve higher level of economic productivity, promote development, improve progressively by 20, achieve full productive employment and decent work for men and women. So if you want to go into the target 8.5 and to focus on, we see these 2 indicators. So the indicators would be average hourly earnings, employee by sex, age, occupation. So your organization would be using this part of their M&E in order to say how many men and how many women or boys or girls they are, how much they are being employed per hour, okay, or per month. And then you would also able to indicate the unemployment rate by sex, age, and person with disabilities. So this is for Riders Ride with Shadi, I think, and Fadi. They are working on like type of, you can use this data in order to understand in some businesses how many people there is people with disabilities in the businesses, and you can indicate on that. In order to make it further and to have the right tool for that, there is something called the SLTLF EUM. This is kind of the word there you can have the tool in order to report and to be able to have the proper data for the sex and the age for that. I will, for example, I am more interested in goal number 3 because of ensure healthy lives and promote well-being. So, for example, I have dedicated part of a lot of my effort and time previously on target that's called target 3.8. What is this target 3.8 means? Okay, I was talking more, if you تتذكروا, there was the tobacco control law in Lebanon that have been issued in 2012. So I was one of the people who were more involved in this level of the tobacco control, and if we stopped ban smoking in indoor and etc. etc. So we had so later on, it is the UN or the WHO have created the Convention on Tobacco Control. In order to ensure if I am in Lebanon, we are contributing, we did the age standardized prevalence for tobacco. We said how many people are using tobacco age of 15 and older. Then we talked more about the age for that, and we divided them by sex and language, by sex and age for that. And here we will be able to use this the tool that we will be able to use in order to report if we are really contributing to this SDG or not. So I'm going to stop here on this level. But I invite you, it will be a very interesting tool for you in order to achieve in the exercise in the coming exercise or the assignment that you will be doing, is to identify which goal that you want to work on from these. That you already, some people have already mentioned strongly about 11 and other goals, and select the target and the indicators, and you would be able to do that. Also on this website, you would be able to see different statistics from different countries. And also all these data are from, you can put a range of the year that, and you can create statistics. So whenever you are also pitching in business presentation and also showing the forecast of the business growth that you want, you can use this information and the data in order to help develop, how can I say, the arguments and why your business is striving to solve such problem and to contribute to the sustainable development goals. Okay. So here, like, it took us a little bit more time to talk more about the targets, but it's good that it is essential that we go for it. So as I was saying, that there is the sustainable development goals, 17, and then there's the targets, 169 targets. Each one would be going into set of a nation. Also, I was talking about how the indicators are being measured by income, gender, age, race, ethnicity, disability, geographic location, and you would be able to, and this is why if you have developed this data, you would be able to achieve and grow your business and create more business opportunities later on. So it's not just helping the environment or things, but at the same time growing your business as for profit or sustainability as non-profit organization. So who is responsible to do that is on national level, international level, and even on individual level in order to report and to contribute to the implementation of the SDGs. In Lebanon, we have something called the voluntary country-led, and this is where Lebanon, and we'll talk more about it in the coming period, in the coming slides, and how they able to identify the priorities and what could be worked on. Also, there's the different levels of follow-up. There is then here the national level, and it's a process where there's a committee in the Prime Minister office that in Lebanon that they work on reporting on the SDGs with other UN agencies. And also the regional level that work like with ASQA and other entities that they work on that. And for sure, there is the global level that they meet several on yearly basis, and also to talk with the UN Secretary General. And sometimes they invite businesses, like there's a lot of businesses from Lebanon, like Lebanon Post, Alpha, and other companies. They have been invited to the global platform. So it's not just only like American companies or European companies, but also Lebanese companies. They were invited to take an award in a global setting, and to because toward their achievement, they have contributed to the sustainable development goals. So also it's an opportunity and progress for your business to have proper. So now I'm going to stop a little bit, and I will, I've been talking much, and I will invite you more about like a small icebreaker. And Joanna here will help me in dividing us into working groups. And inside this working group, when we're divided into these sessions, we're going to be talking more about what are the world's biggest present challenges in your opinion, okay? And this into, you will be talking, you can pitch part of your organization if you see like public transportation is a challenge, it's a big problem, and we need to address it. And this is like just to have a combination between your business knowledge and the world problems, because global agenda is not just locally, it's prevented or local level, but also address global issues. So anyone has any question before we are divided into groups?
No, thank you.
Okay, Joanna, can we?
Okay. Okay, Abbas. Thanks. So I will divide you into breakout rooms. So I'll be sending you to your breakout rooms. I named them by SDGs, like by specific SDGs you're working on, and it's going to be a great interactive opportunity. So
Yes. And we will be back into 12:35. You need to join on Ali from Refuse. You need to join. Rami, Saleh, you need to join. Shinan, Yara. Whom we have also. Maybe if you can, Joanna, move Caroline to room number 1 with the SDG 8.
Joanna, I don't know what happened. When I go in the breakout room, suddenly my mic doesn't work anymore. So
that's strange.
Can we try again? Can you send me back? Because it puts a message that my mic was not working in the breakout room. I don't know why.
Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, I know there's something that is different. Okay, I'm going to put you in another room. I'll see if that works.
Yeah.
Oops. Oh, Caroline, I think you need to. Did you click on join?
Yes, now she joined. She joined the group room number 1. I'm gonna, Joanna, if you can, you go to room number 1, check if everything is happening. Good. Can you hear me?
Bring them back to the main session at 12:37.
Yes, they still. So I'm asking them. I'm asking them to select one person to present in plenary about their findings. Okay. So I'm going back to now to room number 2. So I did number 1 and did room 3. I'm gonna go to SDG. You want now? And group number room 5, 6, and 7, they are empty, right?
Yeah, I put them as I thought that maybe if we had more contestants who came to the session late, we could add them to the.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you would you be able to manage to take a screenshot for the working groups?
Okay.
I'm gonna do room number.
Okay, I'll do room 3.
3. Okay, I'm gonna do.
3.
I will go room 1 and 2, and you do screenshot for 3 and 4. Okay.
Okay.
Joanna, will you be able to take a screenshot for 3 and 4? I can't hear you. You're muted.
So far, I just took a picture for group 3, for room 3.
Okay.
I haven't gotten to room 4 yet.
Yeah. Do you want me to do it? I did 1, 2. Do you want me to do 4? Okay, I think we in
bring them
1
all
minute.
back.
Yes.
Okay, in 1 minute. Okay.
Yeah. I think now if you can bring them because it takes seconds to ship them. So if you can. It's going well.
So we'll be closing all the rooms.
Yes.
Okay.
55, 54. Welcome again. I hope that you have selected one person from your group. We're gonna have 4 people talking. I think that all of us are here, right? Joanna, right? I think all of us back to plenary. Great. So now I'm gonna be inviting someone from group number 1 to tell us like what was the biggest challenge for them, and also like how was the dynamic within the group? Did you find any commonalities and etc.? Group number 1.
I think نحن group number 1 SDG 8.
Joanna,
yes.
group, yes.
Okay, so I will be recapping what we discussed in the breakout room. The groups, the group was mainly, we're focusing on 3 main things: youth, also women empowerment and environment, 3 different scopes of initiatives. We discussed the challenges, and there were also clear common ground between how we perceive the challenges. So basically, speaking about youth, the main challenges were also like the accessibility for youth, or also the assistance for unskilled youth to enter the job market. The educational systems do not support youth to be well prepared. Youth are not well integrated in decision making. We also talked about the same accessibility for women and marginalized communities in the job market, also in STEM. Regarding the environmental initiatives, the challenges in Lebanon are mainly like the awareness about recycling and waste, and that in Lebanon, most of the initiatives have to start like from zero to work on these kind of initiatives. The policies and the government does not support this, and policies of other things. There are common things between 2 organizations, I think, or 3, working with youth, and also between working with the youth and women. I may invite my colleagues. If I missed anything, they can add.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Thank you so much, Yara. And later on, we're gonna do if we have more time, we're gonna take another round if there is a possibility. So group number 2.
Group number 2 is SDG 5.
I think that's our group.
Yes.
With scenario. So I was with Khaloud from Find a Nurse and Ali, who deals with waste and circular economies, and I'm with Scenario. So between us, we sort of look at sustainable cities, decent work, gender equality, and education. And I think one common challenge for all of us is just the government, whether it's directly or indirectly. So obviously from Khaloud's point of view, she's working in health, but also with decent work and gender equality. But obviously there's no public health system, so that's a very fundamental underlying issue. So there's a lack of service provision, which means that a lot of nursing is privatized. At the same time, though, it's unregulated. There's no monitoring. Yeah, that kind of lack of public provision obviously creates fundamental problems for us, for Ali, within like waste. Again, there's lack of policy publicly, a lot of privatization, which in waste particularly leads to quite a lot of endemic corruption. And to solve waste problems, you have to decentralize. There have historically been like waste initiatives that have been blocked by politicians because it results in, well, I mean, less sort of, let's say, revenue streams for them. For me, with the Ministry of Education, is famously one of the most dysfunctional ministries in Lebanon. We have worked with them a little bit, and we've been talking to them for sort of 2.5 years. SERD as well, which is the technical part of the Ministry of Education, who provide the curriculum, but it's just very, very difficult to get stuff off the ground with them. So I think for all of us, government is a kind of common issue in achieving our goals.
Yeah, policy issues. Thank you, Oscar. We move into the third group. Joanna, you are muted.
Yes. Now we are tackling different SDGs. However, I put the title of one specific SDG, and for this room, I put the title of SDG 11.
Yes, that's us. Thank you, Joanna. The group was made up of Hadir, Riders' Right, and Refuse. One thing that we all agreed on, and this is actually something very positive and we're very proud of, is that how the communities are reacting in order to and responding in order to better their life conditions and to solve problems that otherwise should have been solved by the government. So Oscar, we do agree on that as well. We all also are driven by the environmental impact that cities have and communities have, whether be it through public transportation and how we can reduce the carbon footprint by moving from personal vehicles to public transportation, or through recycling and providing people with an alternative to or an easier recycling solution that also provides an incentive for people with refuse. We all also agree on how important it is to use technology in order to facilitate these solutions and to make them actually possible. Another problem that Riders' Rights brought up is the global transportation problem, and how people, especially in Lebanon, we can see that there's no incentive for them to use public transportation. There is also a huge mobility justice issue, or like the equality within public transportation. We don't always see that public transportation, especially in Lebanon, is available for the different people in different geographies. And this is also one of the main issues that we want to solve. This is mainly due to the fact that cities are not built with the infrastructure to provide a decent public transportation. And since recycling has been surfacing quite recently, we can say, the infrastructure in cities also, especially in Lebanon, there isn't the right infrastructure to provide people with the ability to recycle, while also feeling that it's not a burden, rather it's an easy thing. I'm not sure if I mentioned everything, so please feel free, William, Riders' Right, Shadi, Fadi, to intervene.
Yeah, we're gonna be having another, like, if we have group number 4, we'll take group number 4, and then we'll see if we still have time. We go with the second round. Group number 4.
I'll be speaking for
SDG
group
12. Yes.
So it was written SDG 3 and 12, so we combined the two of them. 3, good health and well-being, and SDG 12 for responsible consumption and production. So at first we started discussing climate change in general, and we saw the relation between those two SDGs, how we can work it around, and we got into depth with our startups that were present at the group. So we have Mr. Pat that they are working on chicken waste. So they're mainly targeting the SDG 3, the good health and well-being, but at the same time, whenever they will produce food for pets and for kittens or dogs, they will be responsible also for the consumption, and they will make a major shift towards that, a new way to do it. There's also food side that they are more of a consultant to how to have a different perspective on food and how to do it. And mainly they are also targeting the SDG 3 for the good health and the well-being. But at the same time, whenever we will be optimizing how we treat our market, we will be also responsible in our consumption. And this will lower also the climate crisis. There's also Pets for All. Pets for All, it's a greener alternative to conventional menstrual pads that are reusable. So they're also targeting both SDGs. SDG 3 for the period poverty health issue is not only economic, accessibility to hygienic products are right, shouldn't be a luxury. And at the same time, SDG 12, responsible consumption, instead of using single-use product and dispose of them in landfills, which leads to more pollution, reusable pads will lessen the impact on the environment. And finally, our initiative, which is Plastic Lab, we're targeting mainly SDG 12 as a responsible consumption because we're not promoting plastic. We're trying to tell the world that there's a lot of plastic waste. We can do a lot of projects out of plastic waste. Doesn't mean we have to promote plastic use from raw material. And this will lead less of plastic waste disposal in the oceans and the seas and the microplastics that are in our organic food and fishes and
Perfect. Thank you so much for the rigorous information that we got from all the groups. We see that there is commonality on accountability issues on the government in order to be providing more issues on that. And this is something like kind of an alarming, and where this SDG number 16, that's called SDG Strong Institutions and Peace Building, is kind of the one kind of we need a little bit more focus on, and we'll see like you will see later on in this very short 10 more minutes that we still have. One our goal is to share with you in order to move forward. Anyone would like to add anything super fast, or it's fine, we can move on? Okay, so I will be back in sharing my screen, and as we saw in general, and we heard from you that there's issues related to poverty, hunger, increased literacy, disaster literacy, gender, youth unemployment gap. We have all this issues could be in addition to what maybe was not directly talked about, clean water, maybe with Mr. Pet, but also global warming and also waste accumulation and pollution. There is a little bit of marginalization and slavery and more. So all these issues that they are global concerns. So as I said again, we have 17 different goals. All of them, they are connected. You were able to find a lot of commonalities among yourself, although that you focus on different goals, but you were able to go into the 17 development goals and to able to contribute to the Agenda 2030 by inviting you. And the assignment is to identify your goal, identify which is your target, and then select the indicator that you would like to report on, and usually what would be happening. So again, the SDG 17, they are universal in They are all integration, and they are transformation for all, no matter where the size and the place of the operation and the sector that you're intervening. So as we have seen these famous visual of the 17 goals that they were working. So the whole idea from this exercise today is not just to stay on the surface of these logos, but to go and deeper in these goals and to understand the targets and the indicators. So, and we move forward into this level and how the humans behind these goals, how it might be looking forward as a bright future for all our community. So, as I said, that the goals are being grouped into things related into dignity, 1 and 5, people 3, 2, 3, 4, planet, etc. This is how the grouping would be done in general. So now the situation in very short, as you have seen, that the government of Lebanon is poorly working on that. So that was happening previously on when we had the voluntary reporting. It was basically back then it was led by the Prime Minister and office. And our current profile on 2021, at the beginning of it, we are ranking 93 out of 165. So this is kind of the general rank on this level. So the index is more talking about each and several actor. We are more in Lebanon profile. We're talking more about, we are 66.8. So the total is 100. So we are only on 66 level on reporting and also achieving into the Sustainable Development Goal. We are already in 2021 and the goals are till 2030 and we're still behind. The spillover is 81.2. This is a very good indicator, but at the same time, that there's a lot of initiative that in Lebanon that are trying to contribute on SDGs, and there is a lot of huge opportunity, like 81%, to have more and to have more engagement in that and in several of reporting. So if we have the less spillover, meaning that we are better in index, the more we have. So these are kind of intertwined, and then we have been able to increase the level of our index from 93 level to reach more better performance in with respect to other countries. So what are the trends in Lebanon that we are having? These indicators and are based on an index that the UN have reported. We cannot, these trends can be easily shift up and easily shift down based on the crisis that we're passing through. But in the last reporting that we're seeing, there's an increase and better into intervention on no poverty based on the targets and indicator. So we the zero hunger is still stable. So the different types of the government intervention and the financial, like we saw after the Beirut explosion about the different type of aid that companies, so they maintain that there's a little bit of reporting on the SDG. Also, the SDG 3 is on an increase. SDG 4, unfortunately, the Minister of Education is not properly reporting on that. And a lot of effort need to be more work on the SDG 4 in education to see on the curricula and on other targets that we see. Gender is the same, and the only one that we can see and like really bad it's happening in SDG number 11, which is also interlinked with all the other SDG, is the sustainable cities. We saw lately the Beirut explosion had impacted too much on that, and also implement into the different types of the cities and the communities is kind of livable or not. So this would be showing a decrease on this trend that's happening. Again, the trends can be easily shifted up or down based on the political situation that takes place in the country. In focus, that if I want to go more into the SDGs in Lebanon, we can see this the poverty handouts. We have $1.9 per day, and we have the parity head count ratio is $3.20. So this data is in year 2021. For that, that's an increase in 9 points and in 2 points. Also, the zero hunger, we can see like the country is collapsing and everything, but there is a lot of initiative that they are contributing to enhancement of the SDG and toward a better. So the only thing that is decreasing in the zero hunger is the obesity. So we have more, and so a lot of like food education and awareness need to be worked on, and to ensure that there is less obesity in the community. And also the sustainable nitrogen management index is also on a decrease, which need to be zero. Zero is the best, and 1.4 is the worst. We have 0.9, so we are like decreasing because of the nitrogen level. Also, like we can see here on the SDG number 3, things that related into traffic death. So a lot of on the SDG number 3, and also to increase have a better, we need to make more focus on traffic and less hazard in car accidents and whatsoever. So public transportation could be an answer for that. Subject well-being, average low scores. So the general 0 is the worst and 10 is the best. We have 4. So the general well-being into access to healthcare and all stuff is reduced, but the others are kind of they are fine, and some are steady. For education, we don't have like really a proper reporting on the net primary enrollment, so we don't know how much the primary education are being enrolled in the schools, and the lower secondary completion, if we have a level, how much the level for that. If there will be some initiative that they can ensure the reporting on this level, it would be good in order to understand the trend if we are advancing on the SDG or not. On SDG number 5, also the things that alarming is the ratio of female to male and labor force. So we can see that this is steady, but it's still negative. We need to increase women inclusion in labor force, and also seat held by women in national politics. We had an increase in the previous governments, and now we have none in the current government. So this is the trend would be even on decrease, not on steady. On the SDG number 6, also, you can see the good thing is using least basic sanitation services. So this is kind of an increase, and which is a good trend that the population is using. While we have scarce water consumption, it is on steady, and now we're moving more into a decrease. This is, as you can see here, is the reports and these trends based on the years, so 2017, 19, and all stuff. So definitely we have a drastic negative trends in aspect of all the SDG based on the crisis that we have, but we can see some are updated like 2020 and some on 2021. On the economy,
someone who has a question, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if where can we find these data?
Yes.
Because it's very interesting and very helpful.
Yes, we will share for that. This is the index. The index measurement would be that all the data would be done, and also like when you, and this is what we're trying to do also to help you to get these resources in order to strengthen your projects and your levels. So we will share the link for that, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We have also on the economic growth that a lot of you have been. So there is a lot of reporting that need to be done on the adults and economic account at bank. So with now this, we're almost 0 because a lot of people are now out of the banking sector. So and they do not have bank. And we know that the banking sector is kind of the basic of like all the financial transactions that to take place and to advance into access to finance, etc., etc., etc. The SDG number 9, which is the more into the thing that is really bad, is the mobile broadband subscription. We have in 2009 is 42. This have increased over the time of people because people use more WhatsApp and all whatsoever and able to engage, but still an overall in the population is still low. That a lot of work that need to work on the broadband, and because also the price of the internet is very expensive in Lebanon with respect to the Lebanese lira and people population. So that's why we have really low on the industry. While we have good on population using internet. So in general, there's a lot of people using, but the broadband is really bad, the connectivity. So this will impact the infrastructure of innovation and industry and people using online services and use sharing knowledge, etc. On the gender one, there's the reporting 11 of 2018. There is no proper level that have been indicated or changed. It's still stagnant, but the good, and this is interrelated with SDG number 5, and you can see here like the negative of the political participation and movement in labor. So that's why it would be also impacting SDG number 10 into equalities on things related into LGBT topics and other issues related to gender and inequalities between men and women, and also financial income, economic growth. So the reduced inequalities is general and not just related to gender issues. 11, 12, and 13, we can see in the 11 is the proportion of urban population in slum is on decrease and people are moving more into urban setting, which is like kind of here it's decreasing, which is good for that. Also, the satisfaction with public transport is lower and lower every year since 2019. And now I don't think we have any public transport anymore, not even a taxi that's decent in order to have transport. So this is even on sharply decreasing negatively. So SDG on responsible 12 is also like kind of municipal waste, all electronic, all the stuff that need to be counted, and it's not properly counted since 2019. There was no like proper counting on this level. So a lot of environmental and the recycling like refuse and those stuff, it is very important to focus on these issues indicators into your reporting in order to make sure that you are able to contribute to the SDG 11 and able to measure this level. And making the government accountable to provide such data and have access for this information. SDG number 13 on climate change is also that the emission into that, and you can see later. Also on for Mr. Pets, because you are talking about life underwater. So you can see also like the ocean is like stagnant. The only thing that it is fish caught by trawling or feeding, which means an increase. So we have less fishery. Anyway, we don't have big fishery in Lebanon. So that's why we are on increase. So this is not something that anyone have contributed. But maybe we were not because of the laws that have been in place of not throwing dynamite anymore and we have to kill all the fish. So more on this level is happening. The SDG number 15, the red list of index survival is on increase because of the reserves that we have, but also at the same time we have other challenges that take place. Lastly, the two goals are that they are in danger is the property rights is on increase. So we do not know, like people are not knowing their rights because that there was several times that there was people were misplaced from one area to Al-Hajjaru. So they do not know where is the right and people have occupied their properties. So also that there is a lot of issues related into conviction from homes due to now with the financial situation, the owners have asked the people to leave their houses. And also another challenge is the inequality in like the compensation of the rents with respect to the land price. And so it's Qanun al-Ajar al-Qadim, and this is where it goes into the property rights, and also the huge level of corruption that I think everyone is feeling the heat. It's getting worse and worse by the day. And lastly, with the SDG number 17, that it is more focusing on this kind of trends. And we can see the statistical performance index is an increase. There's a lot of cooperation happening, but corporate tax haven't scored between 0 to 100. It is 72, which is like we are kind of really bad on taxation, and we're not having a proper tax collection for the country in order to advance. So these are the general SDG, and if we want to see kind of the average performance of all the SDGs in general, the need in hand, the worst SDG in Lebanon is SDG 5. And we need to drastically start working on it. The second one is 11, which is the sustainable cities, 17, because it's an overall implication, 2, 6, so this is from the worst to the better one. So we have like kind of rules and regulation in place, but they are not implemented. On the indicator, it's good, but and we do not have kind of a war anymore. So because the peace building, and so people are not dying from explosions and stuff as before. So that's why this indicator is good in general. But all of them. Yes.
I'm sorry, I just want to interrupt you a little bit. It's just that we're already over time, and some people are just they're concerned because they need to leave. They have other commitments.
Sure.
So how?
I will be sharing. I will be wrapping up. I'm not going into the details. So, and I will close the meeting in a few. So this is kind of the humanitarian needs that's taking place in Lebanon on health sector, nutrition, etc. And in the assignment that we're going to be working for you, just we're going to be trying together. We will be sending you a document to be filled. Is to setting your goal. Now you have more depth about the current situation in Lebanon and the goals and the indicators, and also you would be in the assignment setting your goal. What is the goal that you want to achieve after knowing all this information? We would be able to, in order to define the goals, you will need to use the indicators that I've showed you before. In order to measure, you would be also needing to define your baseline, why you are doing that, and this is kind of an example for example, 40% at the end of 2020, and what's your aspiration that you would like to achieve. And you will have your self-level ambition, and also importantly, like you need to report on and how you will integrate it within your projects. We invite you also to join. We are developing our network of Fast Forward 2030. There's another well-established network called the UN Global Compact that we invite you. There's also another one on One Planet on responsible consumption. So you can join, and this is where how you would be sharing in a guided assignment. How you can do the engagement with partners, and something that you already did through the session today, communicating and reporting on your SDG into that. So we can find a lot of people that are easy to have recognition and way to report effectively on your work is joining UN Global Compact chapter in Lebanon. And also you can, after reporting properly, you can better communicate and tell the people about your goals in general. So this is kind of the presentation overall. I would be I will be sharing this link in the chat, or actually maybe Joanna, we can send this link to be filled by all of them by email, and we can collect the answers again.
Sure.
So we can see the pre and post test, so we do not take a minute. I'm gonna put the link here. If someone can take a minute and answer the questions. In general, I send it. It is
otherwise we'll share them in emails, so we'll be following up.
So we'll make sure that everyone having it. So by here, I will end my presentation. I took for 15 more minutes. And I want to thank you, everyone. So please, if anyone have comments, clarification, or question, now is the right moment for the coming 2 more minutes. Stop sharing. Let's see. Anyone has any question, clarification, way forward for that? Did you find it useful, or you knew this information from before?
Sure, it was very fruitful. Thank you a lot.
Yeah, it was very helpful. Thank you so much. I just
so much
missed
for this helpful session.
Yeah,
Yes.
I missed the way the assignment will be assigned. Are you going to send it via email? Are you, yeah?
Yes, we're going to be sending the assignment by email. And the content of the assignment is like to set your goal, and identify which indicator and target that you want to work on, and how you will be communicating on your project in the future. And this assignment would be evolving. So it's one step at a time. So first step here, then would be in the second workshop next time, and then in the third workshop third time.
Brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Abbas. This was very fruitful and very informative.
Thank you. So I think that we have reached an end for this very intensive session with a lot of data sharing. Thank you for holding it up, and I will be sending you the links that have been used into the reporting and the assignment. And we were going to be having almost 1 week to fill this assignment. I know that you will be. So today we will send the late afternoon, we're going to be sending the email, and you will have almost 1 week till the next Saturday to submit your assignment. And hopefully we'll see you all on the second Saturday on September 25th, right? And it's going to be led by my colleague Dolly on entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship in Lebanon, and how your business sustainability or the project sustainability will be done through the project. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Great work.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
No, I think we can